So, good afternoon, my dear friends. How are you all? Yes. So, my dear friends, we were on our way to discussing the different concepts associated with elasticity of supply. And that is how we are going to proceed today as well. Okay. Now, what is elasticity of supply? Is it is a quantitative phenomenon. Is it is a quantitative phenomenon. What is it? It's a quantitative phenomenon. Why so, sir? I'll tell you. I'll tell you the definition first and then we'll break down the definition. Okay. So, as for elasticity of supply, it is the degree of responsiveness of quantity supplied to the change in own price of the commodity. I repeat, it's the degree of responsiveness of quantity supplied to the change in own price of the commodity. Degree of responsiveness of quantity supplied to the change in own price of the commodity. What does it mean exactly, sir? Meaning that if price is changing by 1%, if price of a commodity is, let's say, rising by 1%, by how much is quantity rising? We know there is a direct relationship. So we will answer, state our statements accordingly. So what did I say? When price is rising by a certain percentage, let's say, by what percent will quantity supplied rise? Such a scenario is called elasticity of supply. I'll repeat the definition. It is the degree of responsiveness of quantity supplied to the change in own price of the commodity. How do you compute it, sir? Elasticity of supply is calculated as percentage change in quantity supplied by percentage change in price. I repeat, percentage change in quantity supplied by percentage change in price. So I repeat, percentage change in quantity supplied by percentage change in price. I would say own price of the commodity. Sir, we have got this clear. All right. So why is it called quantitative, sir? Because see, what was law of supply telling? Law of supply was telling that if price is rising, quantity supply is going to rise, or let's say if price is falling, quantity supply is going to fall. This is what law of supply was stating, right? But was it talking about how much? Was law of supply talking about how much? So if let's say price is rising by 1%, quantity supplied is rising by 5%. This is answered by elasticity of supply. That is, by what percent is quantity changing when a price is changing by a certain percentage. To answer this, we are coming to elasticity of supply. That's why we say elasticity of supply is a quantitative phenomenon. Law of supply was just qualitative. Why? It was only talking about direction. That is, if price rises, quantity supplied will rise. If price falls, quantity supplied will fall. It was not talking about quantity. That is, by how much. Elasticity of supply answers this question. By how much? Got it, sir? Now let me make a simple definition. Okay. Let's say elasticity of supply is 3. Mind you, you will not assign any units to elasticity. You will not like rupees 3 or 3% or so on and so forth, right? Elasticity is a unitless concept. Okay. So now pay attention. What does elasticity of supply of 3 means? What does it exactly mean? It means that is, if price is changing by 1%, quantity supplied is going to change by 1% of 3, that is 3%. Oh, if let's say price is changing by 3%, quantity supplied is going to change by 3% into 3, which is 9%. So let's say if price is changing by 5%, can you answer me this question? By how much will quantity supplied change, considering that elasticity is 3? Elasticity of supply is 3. Can you answer me this? Yes, sir, we are able to answer this. Most of you have rightly said that, sir, it would be 5% into 3, that would be 15%, right? And there you have my answer, 15%. Now remember, it is quantity supplied, so I can write percentage. In elasticity, we don't write any units. Got it, sir? So we have got a brief idea of what elasticity is. Now, if we talk about measuring it, if we talk about measuring elasticity, much like demand, in demand, though, we had done around 4 to 5 concepts. In demand, we had done 4 to 5 concepts. So obviously, so much is not the case with supply. In elasticity of supply, there are 2 primary concepts. Number 1 is percentage method, and number 2 is arc elasticity method, and that will be it. Sir, please repeat. Under elasticity of supply, there are 2 methods to measure elasticity of supply. Okay. Number 1 is percentage method, and number 2 is arc elasticity method. Number 1 is percentage method, and number 2 is arc elasticity method. So in percentage method, what do you do, friends? Percentage method tells us that much like demand, please remember, there are two methods, percentage and arc elasticity. Now let's talk about percentage method to calculate price elasticity. The formula is very simple. Elasticity of supply is percentage change in. What is it? It is percentage change in quantity supplied. What is it? Percentage change in quantity supplied by percentage change in own price of the commodity. Mind you, own price of the commodity. Now you may ask me, sir, how do you compute percentage change in quantity supplied? Again, my answer will be much like demand. Percentage change in quantity supplied is, as you can see here, Q2, which is represented by new quantity, Q1, which is represented by old quantity, divided by old quantity into 100. NQ is new quantity, OQ is old quantity. Similarly, percentage change in price is what? P2 minus P1 by P1 into 100. Meaning, new price minus old price by old price into 100. So new quantity minus old quantity by old quantity into 100. Similarly, new price minus old price by old price into 100. We get it, sir. We get it, sir. So here you have it. So now, my dear friends, if let's say I ask you to calculate price elasticity of supply, can you do that for me? Come on. P1 is 20, and when price is 20, quantity is 80 units. When price rises to 25 rupees, quantity changes to, or I would say rises to 120 units. Can you find out elasticity of supply, please? Everybody, please attack. Come on. Can you find out the elasticity of supply, please? Everybody, please attack. Come on. That's right, sir. So most of you have answered. Let's see what the answer seems to be. See, first we need to keep that in mind that we have to find percentage change in quantity. Now Q1 was 80 and it has risen to 120. So basic logic tells you that quantity has risen by 40 units. It has increased by 40 units, risen by 40 units. By what was the old quantity? It was the 80 units into 100. I am using the word risen intentionally. You cannot use the word increase and decrease in supply until and unless it is because of some other factor. Since we are making this factor according to own price, the use of word increase and decrease is strictly banned. Mind you, if any of you is doing this mistake, don't try to do that. Yeah. No. So now, if you talk about the percentage change, it is 50%. As far as quantity is concerned, quantity has risen by 50%. As far as price is concerned, see 20 say 25. So price has risen by 5 rupees. What was the old price? Old price was 20 into 100. So if you do this, it becomes 25%. Now you all know the formula. Change in quantity by change in price. So change in quantity, my dear friends, as is visible, was 50%. And what is change in price? 25%. So 50% by 25%. I believe you get your answer. That's 2. That's 2. And that's what is correct. So my dear friends, here elasticity of supply is 2. Absolutely correct. Perfect. Isn't it, friends? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So elasticity of supply is 2. All right. Can you tell me this one, guys? Come on. Sir, it is very easy. Here price is falling from 20 rupees to 15. Come on, try it out, everybody. Acha, one more question I have. Can any of you tell me why elasticity here is coming positive? In demand, though, it was coming negative. Why in elasticity of supply it is coming positive? When in demand it was negative, we had to apply modulus. Come on, tell me. Why it is coming +2, not -2? Can you answer me this question? Yes, absolutely correct. Because there is a direct relationship between price and quantity supplied. Due to this direct relationship, both are either going upward, in that case positive, or both are falling down, that also positive. So due to the direct relationship between price and quantity supplied, due to the direct relationship between own price of the commodity and quantity supplied, that is rise in one leads to rise in another. That is own price rising, quantity supplied rising, own price falling, quantity supplied falling. And due to this, logic, there is this. Here the word is direct relationship. In demand, we had inverse relationship, where his price was rising, so quantity was falling. Here the relationship is direct. and that's why positive. Okay, sir, got it, sir, correct. So now coming back to this question, let's see elasticity is what. Now, if you look at the percentage change in price of the commodity, P2 minus P1, that is minus 5. By what is the old price? 20 into 100. So that is minus 25%. Now, if you talk about percentage change in quantity, what is new quantity? 70. What is old quantity? 100. So 70 minus 100 is minus 30. What is the old quantity? 100. And to convert it into percentage, we will put it 100 again. So minus 30%. If we apply the formula, elasticity ka formula, what will it become equal to? Change in quantity supplied minus 30% by percentage change in price, which is minus 25%. So percent gone, minus gone, 30 by 25, which is 6 by 5. And once it is 6 by 5, but then if it is 6 by 5, I think your answer is going to be 1.2. And there is your answer. That is 1.2. So you get your answer, friends. 1.2 is the correct answer. Since both are negative, you see again, the minus got cancelled out. That's what it is. So we go about with 1.2, sir, right? That's right, my dear friends. Right. Now, as I told you, this question has been answered. Why elasticity value generally comes positive while demand comes negative? All of you have rightly answered. So you told that, sir, because there is a direct relationship between price and quantity supplied, hence there is a positive relationship here. While in the other case, what we found was the negative relationship was due to inverse, or I would say indirect relationship between price and quantity demanded. And yes, all of you are correct in terms of stating the values. I am gladly surprised that I am not getting wrong answers. Yes, I am asking easy questions or medium questions, but your answers are correct, which I am very happy about. All of you are doing correct. Great. Now, my dear friends, I'll derive a new formula of elasticity under percentage method only. Under percentage method only. Just like I did it in demand. So what is elasticity? See, percentage change in quantity supplied by percentage change in price. Now, how do you compute percentage change in quantity supplied? Sir, it is Q2 minus Q1 by Q1 into 100. Similarly, percentage change in price is P2 minus P1 by P1 into 100. So 100 gone. So what do we get? Change in quantity by original quantity. Similarly, if you reciprocate it, original price by change in price, which becomes equals to change in quantity by change in price into original price by original quantity. Change in quantity by change in price into original price by original quantity. And that is your answer, my dear friends. That is your answer, my dear friends. That will be it. So you got your answer. You got your answer. Change in quantity by change in price into original price by original quantity. That is another. So remember, this is also percentage method only. Don't say that sir has taught new formula. It is only the boiled down version of this formula that we already done. That we had already done. Right? Okay, sir. So hence this. So sir, we can use this, right? Absolutely. So can you write the formula again, sir? Yes. Change in quantity by change in price into, it is not in percentage, it is in units or rupees. And similarly, original price by original quantity. All right, sir. Let's go. Suppose you are given this question. Please answer me how you go about it. Price falls by rupees 10. Okay, price has fallen by rupees 10. Original price is 50. Okay, quantity falls by 20 units. Original quantity is 80. Calculate ES, elasticity of supply. Come on, everybody. Yes, all the formulas are given in our institute study material. Don't worry. Absolutely, I am taking it out from institute material only. No need to worry. We are doing strictly from institute material. Got it, sir. So guys, if we go about it, pay attention, see. Now, how do you compute elasticity? See, we discussed change in quantity by change in price. So change in quantity falls by 20, so minus 20. Price falls by minus 10. So change in quantity by change in price into original price by original quantity, right? So what was original price? 50. What was original quantity? 80. Original means the earlier one, the older one, right? So minus minus gone, 0 0 gone, 0 0 gone again. So 10 by 8 seems to be our answer, which gives you 5 by 4, 1.25. So the value is 1.25. That's right. Now you see I've used the new formula. Obviously, any formula will give you the correct answer, but I have used the new formula, which is change by change into original by original. Change in quantity by change in price into original price by original quantity. Sir, we get it, sir. Okay, fantastic. Remember, whenever you are asked of the definition, when you are asked of the definition, please remember one thing correctly. What is it, sir? That whenever you write about price elasticity of supply, do not forget, or as a matter of fact, in demand also, degree of responsiveness. Degree means by what quantity, to what extent. Quantity supplied is going to change due to own price of the commodity. Due to own price of the commodity. So the formula becomes very simple. Now, price elasticity of supply is what? Degree of responsiveness of. What is it? Degree of responsiveness. That's right. Degree of responsiveness of quantity supplied to the change in own price of the commodity, which you have rightly guessed. Okay. Now, my dear friends, before we discuss the types, let's talk about arc elasticity of supply then. What is arc elasticity of supply? Sir, it is much like demand. Yes, it is much like demand. In percentage method, if you remember, we were using, pay attention, percentage change in quantity supplied by percentage change in price. So what you were doing was change in quantity by original quantity. Similarly, percentage change in price is change in price by original price. This we were doing so far. That is under percentage method. But what happens under arc elasticity method? Under arc elasticity method, my dear friends, the denominator that you use now is something else. So it's not change in quantity by original quantity. It's change in quantity by average quantity. So as you can see here, change in quantity by Q1 plus Q2 by 2, that is average quantity into 100. Similarly, change in price not by original price, change in price by average price. That's right. Change in price by average price into 100. That's correct. P1 plus P2 by 2 into 100. All right, sir, we got it. So that is arc elasticity or what, sir? Yes, my dear friends, that's arc elasticity. Yes, my dear friends, that's arc elasticity. Sir, we got it. So there it is. Here is the formula. So how we can write this formula now? You can write it in another way. Like for example, change in quantity by average quantity. Similarly, change in price by average price. Now this 200 will get cancelled from numerator and denominator. So you are landing up with what? Change in quantity by Q1 plus Q2 into P1 plus P2 by change in price. All right. So if you group them up together, what do you get? You get it in the form of change in quantity by change in price into P1 plus P2 by Q1 plus Q2. And there you have it. There you have it, mates. That's how you go about it. That's how you write it, guys. Acha. Is that so, sir? Yes, my dear friends, that is. Got it, sir. Sir, we have got it, sir. So therefore, we understood it. Now, guys, why don't you solve this one? Come on, at least try it out. Price of 10, then price increases to 40. Quantity of 80, then 200. What method you have to use? This time use not the percentage one, the arc elastic method one. Come on, everybody, tell me. How would you solve it? Come on. All right. So what most of you are saying is absolutely correct. That sir, first we compute change in quantity. Change in quantity is by 20 units. So yes, that's right. 20 units. You put 20 units by. Then what we do is change in price. Change in quantity is 20. Change in price is, it has increased by 4. So change in price. Into, now we add up. So P1 plus P2 is 10 plus 14, which is 24. And Q1 plus Q2 is 80 plus 100, which is 180. Then you can keep solving it that way. No problem. So 4, 6, 6, 30, 0, 0, 2 by 3. Now 2 by 3 is 0.67. Now 2 by 3 is 0.67. And so your answer is 0.67, as you can clearly see here. We got it, sir. So what are you doing, sir, exactly? Change in quantity by change in price into P1 plus P2 by Q1 plus Q2. We have got to remember this. Answer is 0.67, obviously. Okay. Let's go about it, my dear friends. Another sum. The reason I'm giving you so basic questions is so that we become comfortable with the formula first. Only then we can, let's say fly to a different zone altogether. See, P1 is 80, P2 is going down to 60. Again, quantity is 1000. Now Q2 is going down to 900. Compute arc elasticity. Come on, everybody, attack. Come on, everybody, attack. So see, change in quantity is by 100. So the value is minus 100. By change in price is by 20. So the price is falling down by minus 20. Right? Into sum of prices, which is 140. Sum of prices is 140 by sum of quantities, which is 1900. Which is 1900. Bas, that's it. After that, you just solve it, yaar. 25s are. So 5 into 140 is 700, right? By 1900 or something. So 7 by 19 is your value and you get it here. 7 by 19, which is 0.37. That's how you go about it. Okay, so sir, how you have done it? Change in quantity by change in price into sum of price by sum of quantity. That is it. That's how you go about it. That much only. So sir, 0.37. We got 0.368. We have rounded it off to 0.37. Okay. All right. It is in 0 point. Huh? Not 3 point. It is in 0 point. Okay. Correct. Correct, sir. Correct. So to sum it up, my dear friends, percentage method, we get two formulas, which is change in quantity by change in price into original price by original quantity. Number one. And number two, in arc elasticity, you get two formulas. Again, that's the same thing. Change in quantity by change in price into not P1 entirely. It's P1 plus P2. Similarly, it's not Q1 entirely. It's Q1 plus Q2. Thus, that is it. That much only. That much only. Okay, sir? Yes, sir, we got it, sir. So basically, we just use the formula, nothing else. Change in quantity by how much? So suppose here you see 100,000 to 900. So change in quantity was by 100. So we put a 100 sign here. I mean, falling to minus 100. And similarly, change in price 80 to 60, minus 20, so down. Then the sum, P1 plus P2 by Q1 plus Q2. We get it, sir. Now, another important discussion, a brief of which I had given in the last class. Again, we will come back and revise it because elasticity is what we are doing after all. So there are 5 types of price elasticity of supply, much like the demand. Much like the demand, and in fact, the names are same. In fact, the names that you will see here are exactly the same. So if you say perfectly elastic supply, then you have perfectly inelastic supply, relatively elastic supply, inelastic supply, unitary elastic supply. That is what is going on. Okay, sir. So now let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Okay. Each one of them, first of all, in a very brief way. See, perfectly elastic means for a negligible change in price, quantity is going to change much. Now remember, the formula is percentage change in quantity supplied by percentage change in price. Obviously, if you apply some brain, you will find out that in perfectly elastic, what is happening? That price is not changing, but quantity is changing. So anything by 0, because price is not changing, so we take it 0. It will become infinity. So here, elasticity of supply is infinity. Okay. In perfectly inelastic supply, what happens? It is perfectly percentage change in quantity supplied by percentage change in price. So here, no matter how much the price changes, quantity supplied is not going to change. In perfectly inelastic case, no matter by how much you change your price, quantity is not going to change. So here numerator is 0 and percentage change in price. 0 by anything is 0. So here elasticity of supply is 0. Remember, perfectly elastic supply has very few examples where there is no change in price, but quantity supplied is rising by a lot. There can be some example where agricultural field, government has given some kind of subsidy. Now crops are being produced, new crops are being discovered, all those things. So it can be elastic, but in reality there is no example. Perfectly inelastic, however, is true. In case of rare commodities, let's say Mona Lisa painting. Now you all tell me, no matter how much the price rises, can there be a new original Mona Lisa painting? Obviously not, sir. Either it will be new or it will be original. It can't be both. And that's what I'm saying. So despite the price rise, quantity supplied cannot react or respond. Hence, perfectly inelastic. We have taken ES to be 0. Got it, sir. It's happening in case of rare manuscripts. Now, relatively elastic supply. What happens here is, here percentage change in quantity supplied is greater than percentage change in price. Now, since percentage change in quantity supplied is greater than percentage change in price, the value of elasticity here is going to be greater than 1. In relatively inelastic supply, however, it's just the opposite. Here, percentage change in quantity supplied is less than percentage change in price. And therefore, elasticity of supply is less than 1. And in unitary elastic supply, the elasticity, see here what happens is, percentage change in quantity supplied is exactly equals to the percentage change in price. So when you compute, it becomes percentage change in quantity supplied by percentage change in price. Since both of them are equal, the value is 1. And that's why elasticity of supply value here is 1. Exactly equal to 1. Sir, we got it. And that's what the answers are, sir. Yes or no? Yes, my dear friends. Did you understand this much? Now I will go a bit slower, but is this much clear? Yes, I have done this. Okay. Now pay attention again. Now let's go about slowly. Okay. Now pay attention. See, perfectly elastic supply. Perfectly elastic supply. What is the formula? Percentage change in quantity supplied by percentage change in price. Now, their price is changing negligibly. So if there is a negligible change in price, you will put 0 in the denominator. If there is a negligible change in price, you will put 0 in the denominator. So if you put 0 in the denominator, pay attention. If you put 0 in the denominator, it will automatically become infinity. It will automatically become infinity. Now, how will you draw the diagram? The diagram will somewhat be like this. Why so? I'll tell you why. Because you see what is perfectly elastic supply, where price is not changing but quantity is rising. So it was Q1, it is Q2. So they are intersecting here. If you try to pass a particular line through it, it will become a straight line parallel to x-axis. So perfectly elastic supply is how? It's a horizontal line. It's a horizontal line. It's parallel to the x-axis. It's parallel to the x-axis. That's perfectly elastic supply. So clear. Now moving on to perfectly inelastic supply. What is happening here? See, here just the opposite. Change in price is taking place, but quantity is not changing now. So what will happen? If you look at the diagram, if you keep quantity fixed, now price is P1, then it is P2. So intersection is obviously taking place in this fashion, and therefore this is how it looks like. And therefore this is how it looks like. So my dear friends, there you have it. So my dear friends, there you have it. Understood? Yes, sir, we have understood this. I hope all of you have understood this, guys. Yes, sir. All our friends are telling yes, sir, understood. And that is what it is. So here, elasticity of supply gets to 0. Here, elasticity of supply gets to what? Elasticity of supply gets to 0. And there you have it. That's your answer. That's your answer. Sir, we get it, sir. Now, moving on. What if relatively elastic supply we have to find out? See, percentage change in quantity supplied by percentage change in price. Now, which one is greater? Percentage change in quantity supplied is greater than percentage change in price. This is greater. And so, if the numerator is greater than denominator, if the numerator is greater than denominator, obviously your fraction value, if the numerator is greater than denominator, your fraction value, that is elasticity of supply, will be greater than 1. Okay, sir. So how will the diagram look like? I'll tell you. It will be a relatively flat curve. Sir, why? Let's explain. Let me explain how we draw this. Pay attention, guys. See, P1 is this, P2 is this. See the difference between P1 and P2. Because percentage change in price is relatively smaller. Okay. And now you look at Q1 and Q2. Okay, the gap is a little larger. Relatively a little larger. So if you join them, it looks somewhat like this. So that is a flatter curve, and so elasticity of supply, is greater than 1. Sir, we get it. Now moving on to relatively flatter, then we move on to relatively inelastic supply. If we talk about inelastic supply, see percentage change in quantity supplied by percentage change in price. Right. Now, which one is greater? Percentage change in price is greater than percentage change in quantity supplied. Since denominator is greater than numerator, the fraction value is less than 1. And how will the curve be? It will be a steep curve. It will be somewhat like this, as you see here. I'll show it to you. Pay attention, friends. So if this is Q1 and this is Q2, P1, P2, so it's intersecting. Now see, gap between P1 and P2 is more than gap between Q1 and Q2. So the curve becomes somewhat like this. That is what exactly I am talking about. Relatively inelastic. You know, whenever we talk about relative, it means both are changing. If it is elastic, quantity is in greater Josh. If it is in inelastic, price is in greater Josh. But that is the difference. But changing both. Who is changing both? That's absolutely correct. And if we talk about unitary elastic supply, to wind things up, if we talk about unitary elastic supply, here percentage change in quantity supplied is exactly equal to percentage change in price. So if they are changing by same percentage, you look here, percentage change in supply by percentage change in price. If it is same, the value is 1, and there you have it. Here the curve will be a linear one. It's a straight upward sloping line. You can also call it to be a 45-degree line. Please remember, it is also called to be a 45-degree line. Why? Because the gap between this part and this portion is exactly the same. Isn't it? Yes, sir. It's crystal clear. My dear friends, please confirm. Is that crystal clear? Come on, friends. Is that crystal clear, mates? Yes, sir. That's clear. So to sum it up, you all can take a screenshot or maybe write it down. You know, this 5 points that I have just demonstrated, the summary of this 5 points. Perfectly elastic, the value is infinity. Perfectly inelastic, value is 0. Relatively elastic, greater than 1. Inelastic, less than 1. Unitary, exactly 1. Slope nature, horizontal curve parallel to x-axis. Here it's vertical curve parallel to y-axis. In relatively elastic, it is flatter. In inelastic, it's steeper. And in unitary elastic, it's just an upward sloping straight line. All right, that's the case, my dear friends. That's the case. Fourth one is relatively inelastic supply, wherein who is in greater Josh? Price. So percentage change in price is greater than percentage change in supply. So the curve is relatively steeper. Okay. Yes. Yes, sir, we get this. Now, so what are we doing? Now, my dear friends, if you move ahead, first of all, let's solve an MCQ question. Some MCQ questions we are solving. Then we will move on anywhere else. Okay. Then we will move on anywhere else. So let's solve some. Hold on, please. Let's solve. So 5 marks test I am taking. Are you ready for a 5 marks test, friends? 5 marks test I am taking. Are you ready, friends? Yes, sir, we are ready. So let's see how many of you are scoring 5 out of 5. When elasticity of supply is greater than 1, what is the curve like? Is it a horizontal one, a parallel one, a steeper one, or a flatter one? Remember, ES is greater than 1. Come on, answer me this. Come on, answer this. I'm waiting for everyone's response. Okay, great. So in saying so, sir, when ES is greater than 1, the curve is steeper or flatter. You all are correct that it will be flatter. The curve is relatively flatter. You see, I had told you the curve will be flatter. Relatively elastic supply. So number 1. Next, when elasticity of supply is exactly 1, is it unitary elastic? Is it inelastic? Is it both or is it none? What do you think? Which one? Here ES was greater than 1, so flatter curve. Steep is when it is less than 1. Okay. Yes, when ES is 1, supply is unitary elastic. Achha. And don't be confused whether it will be flatter or steeper. Answer yourself, na. If ES is greater than 1, that means quantity is changing by greater amount. So if this is price, now if quantity rises by this much, price was initially, supply was this, now it is this. So it's flatter, na. So ES is greater than 1, then flatter curve. Okay, when ES is 1, unitary elastic. Next question. If elasticity of supply is perfectly elastic, if ES nature is perfectly elastic, then what will be the value of elasticity? What will the value of elasticity be? Come on, friends. What will be the value of elasticity? What will the value of elasticity be? Come on, friends. Yes, you guys are correct. Sir, if it is perfectly elastic, then the value will be infinity. Absolutely correct. So correct. Next, if elasticity of supply is 2, percentage change in price is 10, what will be the percentage change in quantity? A good question. Good one. Come on, answer it. Come on, answer it, friends. Okay. Okay. So let me help you all. See, elasticity is percentage change in supply by percentage change in price, right? So if elasticity is 2, 2 is percentage change in supply, which we don't know anything about, but price we know 10%. So if 10% into 2 we do, which it becomes 20%. So what is percentage change in quantity equal to? It's equal to 20%. That's right, 20%. Simple formula. Elasticity is percentage change in quantity supplied by percentage change in price. So just putting the values will do our work. Will do the task for us. Okay. Now let's change the way question is asked. If elasticity of supply is 3, percentage change in quantity is 30. What will be percentage change in price? Okay, great. Great. Okay, so here let's prepare. So percentage change in quantity supplied by percentage change in price is equals to 3. So now if it is 30%, 30% by 3 is how much? 10%. And so our answer is tantamounting to 10%. Our answer is tantamounting to 10%. That's how you go about it, friends. So my dear friends, we have discussed all the 5 answers. The first question answer is D, second one is A, third one is A, fourth is B, fifth is A. I hope it's crystal clear. Okay. Okay. Now we are asked to calculate, or I would rather say discuss factors affecting elasticity of supply. Remember, or determinants of elasticity of supply. Remember, factors affecting supply and determinants of supply are two different things. I repeat what I was telling, I'll repeat for you. Factors affecting supply, and factors affecting elasticity of supply are two different concepts. Okay, so remember this. Now, let me tell you a simple trick. If in response to price, supply will change by a large quantity, or if supply can change by large quantities, it is elasticity of supply. I mean, elastic supply. If the producer is willing to produce more and more, it is elastic supply. But if the producer is willing to produce very less or change quantity very less, that is, my dear friends, elasticity of supply low. Okay, sir. So it all depends on quantity. If quantity is willing to change by large amounts, it's elastic nature. If quantity is not willing to change by large proportions, it's inelastic in nature. It's inelastic in nature. Is that so, sir? Yes, that is so, friends. Now let's discuss. Substantial costs. Now pay attention, friends. If we talk about substantial increase in costs, INC means increase in costs. Now pay attention. You are a producer, okay, of a product. Now, if product prices are, or I would rather say input is constantly rising, input prices, will you want to produce more? No, sir. Because the more we produce, the more losses we do. So it's better to produce less. And so quantity will not change in a very excited fashion. And so elasticity of supply will be low. If, however, cost is constant, if cost is constant or there is a negligible change in costs, then, my dear friends, elasticity of supply will be high, because producer will not fear producing more. Since costs are constant, they are assured that they need not worry about rising costs in the future. And that will be the action. That will be the answer. Another thing would be complexity of production. It's in this point only. It's in substantial increase in cost only. That is the complexity of the product. So see, if products are complex, like making of airlines, I mean making of airlines with making of aircrafts. So that time, my dear friends, elasticity of supply would be low. But if you talk about bikes, bikes are relatively easier to produce compared to aircrafts, and therefore for bikes, elasticity of supply is high. For bikes, elasticity of supply is high, and for this aircrafts and all, elasticity of supply is low, because they are very complex. So the more complex the thing, the lesser the elasticity. I hope it's crystal clear. Is number one clear, friends? Yes or no? Sir, please explain it in Hindi. अगर मैं हिंदी में बोलूं तो देखिए ऐसा है कि अगर एक कमोडिटी का कॉस्ट कंसिस्टेंटली बढ़ते जाता है तो प्रोड्यूसर तो देखिए डिस्करेज होगा ना. वो क्यों एक्स्ट्रा प्रोडक्शन करेगा, क्यों क्वांटिटी के साथ ज्यादा छेड़छाड़ करेगा जब उसको पता है कॉस्ट्स आर राइजिंग. तो वो क्यों ज्यादा बनाना चाहेगा. तो इलास्टिसिटी ऑफ सप्लाई लो है, बिकॉज क्वांटिटी बहुत जोश में नहीं बदल रहा. ये हो गया पहला बात. और दूसरा बात, अगर प्रोडक्ट का कॉस्ट लगभग सेम रहता है तो प्रोड्यूसर को पता है कि वो बिंदास प्रोडक्शन में जा सकता है, प्रॉफिट बढ़ा सकता है, प्रॉफिट बना सकता है विदाउट वरिंग अबाउट कॉस्ट. तो उस समय इलास्टिसिटी हाई होगा क्योंकि क्वांटिटी ज्यादा जोर से रिस्पॉन्ड करेगा. एक और कॉन्सेप्ट अपने पढ़े कि प्रोडक्ट कितना कॉम्प्लेक्स है. अगर किसी प्रोडक्ट को बनाना बड़ा मुश्किल है ना, जैसे एयरक्राफ्ट, क्योंकि कुछ ही लोग हैं जो बनाते हैं, तो इलास्टिसिटी ऑफ सप्लाई लो रहता है क्योंकि 2 या 3 प्रोड्यूसर्स तो है. जैसे आप अगर एयरक्राफ्ट का मैन्युफैक्चरर देखोगे तो एक आपका ये हो गया, बोइंग हो गया, ठीक है, और एक एयरबस हो गया. तो जब ऐसा केसेस हो जाता है तो सप्लाई बहुत जोर से तो बदलने वाला नहीं है. बट मोटर बाइक्स बहुत अगर मैं एयरक्राफ्ट से कंपेयर करूं तो काफी सिंपल है. एंड देयरफॉर उनका जो इलास्टिसिटी है, मोटर बाइक्स की मैं बात कर रहा हूँ, मोटर बाइक्स एंड ऑल की मैं बात कर रहा हूँ, इलास्टिसिटी हाई होती है बिकॉज उनका प्रोडक्शन जोर से बढ़ाना या घटाना पॉसिबल होता है. एयरक्राफ्ट का नहीं होता क्योंकि कॉम्प्लेक्स चीज है. आई होप क्लियर है. हिंदी में भी बता दी. Okay. Now talk about time period. So if you talk about time period, friends, suppose a producer or a supplier gets a longer period of time for production activity. Suppose a supplier or a producer or a manufacturer gets a longer time period to make production of a commodity. If the supplier gets a longer period of time, pay attention. If the supplier gets a longer period of time, they will be able to hire new factors of production, new machinery, new labor, and therefore elasticity of supply will be more in the long run. But in very short run or short run, you see, there is little chance of increasing production at all. So quantity cannot respond much, and therefore supply elasticity is low. अगेन टू समराइज इट इन हिंदी, अगर आप एक प्रोड्यूसर है प्रोडक्ट के और आपके पास, समझिएगा बात को, और आपके पास अगर लंबा समय पीरियड, लंबा समय, अगर आपके पास एक लंबा समय है तो इलास्टिसिटी ऑफ सप्लाई ज्यादा होगा, तो आपके पास इलास्टिसिटी ऑफ सप्लाई ज्यादा होगा। सर क्यों इलास्टिसिटी ऑफ सप्लाई ज्यादा होगा? क्योंकि आपके पास समय ज्यादा है, समय ज्यादा है तो इलास्टिसिटी ऑफ सप्लाई ज्यादा होगा। समय कम है तो इलास्टिसिटी ऑफ सप्लाई कम होगा। समय कम है तो इलास्टिसिटी ऑफ सप्लाई कम होगा। क्यों सर? क्योंकि ज्यादा समय में आप एडजस्ट कर पाओगे, नया फैक्ट्री बैठा पाओगे, बट शॉर्ट रन में आप जितना ही चाहो, प्राइस कितना ही बढ़ जाए, आप सप्लाई तो उतना तेजी से नहीं बढ़ा पाओगे। इसलिए शॉर्ट रन में सप्लाई इनइलास्टिक ही रहता है, बिकॉज प्रोडक्शन जितना भी चाहे अपने जोश में बदल नहीं सकते। आई होप इट्स क्रिस्टल क्लियर my dear friends. Second point must be crystal clear. If it is, then I'll move on to the third one. If it is, then I'll move on to the third one. Correct? Correct. So now let's talk about number of producers. Very simple. So if there is high number of producers, that means there are more competition. More competition means supply is highly elastic. But if there is no competition, then supply will not change much because everybody is buying from me. So low elasticity of supply. Supply is not very much responding. Now see what happens is, I'll give you an example. Suppose there are two companies, okay? Let's say Pepsi, and then let's say there is Coca-Cola, okay? Now see, if Pepsi starts manufacturing cans worth ₹20, now Coca-Cola will see, oh my God, to respond to consumers, I'll also have to do this same thing. So when there is competition, it keeps you in check, and therefore supply is quite adjustable, and so changes a lot faster compared to where there is no competition. Because you all know that even if supply is low, we did not panic. Where will the customer go? They will have to come to us, because only we are the producers, right? And that is what is written here exactly. Okay, sir. Now moving on. Now if we move on, friends, we talk about capacity utilization. So if you talk about capacity utilization, you see whether there is spare capacity or the capacity is full. You see, if there is a factory, okay, factory has 3 rooms. Now room 1 and room 2 is used with machine. Room 3 is empty. So when there is a spare room available, elasticity is high, as you can immediately change supply and increase production. But let's say if all these 3 rooms would have been full, even if the producer wanted to supply more, due to the resource constraint, that is capacity constraint, they will not be able to produce more. So that is what we are studying. If the capacity utilization is full, elasticity will be low because quantity cannot change much. Remember, supply will be elastic only when quantity supplied is allowed to change by much. If it is not allowed to change, or even if it is allowed to change by a very little quantity, we call it to be the case of inelastic supply. We call it to be the case of inelastic supply. I hope it's crystal clear, friends. Yes, sir. It's crystal clear to us. Next, we talk about, friends, availability of raw materials. So the question is very simple. Is the raw material easily available or not easily available? So friends, if the raw material is easily available, then supply can be changed easily and therefore high elasticity. But if raw material is not easily available, elasticity is going to be low. It will not change by much. Got it, sir? Now 3 and 4 in Hindi also, I mean 4 and 5 in Hindi also I am telling, okay? See, in fact 3, 4 and 5 in Hindi I am saying, all right? See, number 3, अगर प्रोड्यूसर ज्यादा होंगे तो क्वांटिटी ज्यादा प्रोड्यूस होगा, हर प्रोड्यूसर अपने कंपटीशन को देखेगा, सो इलास्टिसिटी ऑफ सप्लाई हाई रहेगा. बट अगर कोई कंपटीशन ही नहीं है तो आप रिलैक्स करोगे कि कोई टेंशन नहीं है, कस्टमर जाएगा कहाँ, आना तो हमारे पास ही है, तो इलास्टिसिटी ऑफ सप्लाई उस केस में लो रहता है. ये हो गया नंबर ऑफ प्रोड्यूसर्स वाला पॉइंट. कैपेसिटी यूटिलाइजेशन के बारे में अगर आप समझे तो देखिए सिंपल सा बात है, क्या स्पेयर कैपेसिटी है या कैपेसिटी फुल है? अगर दोस्तों स्पेयर कैपेसिटी है यानी तब इलास्टिसिटी ऑफ सप्लाई हाई रहता है, क्योंकि अगर स्पेयर कैपेसिटी है, खाली कैपेसिटी है, स्पेयर कैपेसिटी है या खाली कैपेसिटी है, तो आपको जब भी प्रोडक्शन बढ़ाना है आप तुरंत उसको यूज कर लो खाली कमरे को। बट अगर खाली नहीं है तब आपको अगर सप्लाई बढ़ाना है तो बड़ा मुश्किल आएगा, तो आप ज्यादा जोश में सप्लाई बढ़ा नहीं पाओगे अगर सारे रूम्स फुल है तो। इसको बोलते हैं लो इलास्टिसिटी, यानी कि कैपेसिटी यूटिलाइजेशन वाला पॉइंट। सिमिलरली अवेलेबिलिटी ऑफ रॉ मटेरियल, अगर रॉ मटेरियल इजीली अवेलेबल है तो क्वांटिटी सप्लाइड इजीली चेंज हो सकता है, एंड सो हाई इलास्टिसिटी। बट अगर रॉ मटेरियल इजीली अवेलेबल नहीं है तो चाह के भी क्वांटिटी सप्लाइड ज्यादा जोश में चेंज नहीं हो सकता, तो सप्लाई इलास्टिसिटी उस केस में लो रहता है, कम रहता है। माय डियर फ्रेंड्स, फिफ्थ तक क्रिस्टल क्लियर? यस और नो एवरीबॉडी? कम ऑन फ्रेंड्स। Yes, sir. Spare capacity means empty capacity, space. So what did I say? Spare capacity means suppose I have 3 rooms. Room 1 is full, room 2 is full. There is a machine. But room 3 is empty. Spare capacity means empty capacity, remaining capacity. So if there is spare capacity, you can use this room for production if you want to. And so elasticity is high. But if there is no spare capacity, that is every room is full, then elasticity is low. I hope it's crystal clear now. I think it's crystal clear now, friends. Please, would you confirm? Yes, sir, we are absolutely clear with it. Great, great. So, my dear friends, if that is clear, let's talk about other factors of production. So, if we talk about other factors of production, it could be, in addition to raw material, it could be anything. It could be godown, it could be availability of labor, etc. Again, the same answer. If they are easily available, elasticity is going to be high. If they are not easily available, elasticity is going to be low. Full stop. All right. Next one is very interesting one. Very interesting one. Factor mobility. Mobility means movability. Mobility means movability. What does mobility means? Mobility means movability. Is movement possible? Is movement possible? So let's say, pay attention, everyone. Pay attention, everyone. I'll tell you. What is it? What is it? What is it? See, pay attention. If movement is possible, then elasticity of supply is high. I'll give you an example. Suppose I buy a printing machine. Okay, what did I buy? A printing machine. Now, I am in newspaper business currently. Okay, but now this printing machine can also print visiting cards, invitation cards, etc. Suppose I want to close this newspaper business. I want to start this visiting card business. Can I use the same machine? Yes. If the answer is yes, that is movability. That is, I am able to move the machine from one use to another use. If that is possible, elasticity will be high. But suppose if this printing machine was only for newspaper, even if I wanted to stop newspaper production, I had to waste my resource. And so I am continuing with newspaper production because such resource cannot be used alternatively anywhere. Achha. So then elasticity of supply is low when it is not possible to use it in some other form. So sir, can you summarize it in Hindi? Yes. Factor mobility. So see, अगर आप जो मशीन या रॉ मटेरियल यूज कर रहे हो, अगर आप उसको एक यूज से दूसरे यूज में ट्रांसफर कर सकते हो तो इलास्टिसिटी हाई होगी। जैसे मैंने बोला प्रिंटिंग मशीन आप खरीद के लेकर आए, अब वो प्रिंटिंग मशीन से आप अभी न्यूज़पेपर का काम कर रहे थे, बट आपने सोचा न्यूज़पेपर बिजनेस बंद करके विजिटिंग कार्ड प्रिंट करना चालू करें, और वो करना पॉसिबल है, वो करना पॉसिबल है, विजिटिंग कार्ड प्रिंट करना पॉसिबल है, ये बात सच है उस मशीन से। तो इलास्टिसिटी क्या होगा? हाई होगा, क्योंकि मशीन को आप एक यूज से दूसरे यूज में डाल सकते हो। बट अगर आप डाल ही नहीं सकते, आपको न्यूज़पेपर के लिए ही यूज करना पड़ेगा, तो क्या आप कुछ भी ज्यादा नया कमोडिटी में एंटर कर पाओगे? नहीं। तो क्या क्वांटिटी सप्लाई ज्यादा बदल पाएगा? नहीं। तो इलास्टिसिटी ऑफ सप्लाई विल बी इन इलास्टिक, इन इलास्टिक। यस सर, क्रिस्टल क्लियर। यस सर, क्रिस्टल क्लियर। फाइनली ओके ओके No. Expectations. So if producer is expecting high price rise in future, if producer is expecting high rise in future, at present they will respond less to price change. Why? Because they're expecting higher change to take place in future. So presently quantity will not change much. So presently supply will be inelastic, because presently supply will not respond to price, because there is a higher price expectation set for the future. Oh, sir, can you give us an example? Okay, suppose this is a producer. Okay, now he is seller of, let's say, furniture. Okay, furniture equipment. Now a piece of furniture he or she has which costs rupees 1,000. Okay, which costs rupees 1,000. Now the price of this piece of furniture has increased from rupees 1,000 to, let's say, rupees 1,500. Okay, just assume price is increased from rupees 1,000 to rupees 1,500. Yes or no? So if price is increased from rupees 1,000 to rupees 1,500, you all see this carefully. If price has increased from rupees 1,000 to rupees 1,500, but this producer is believing that in future price will be rupees 3,000. So do you think producer will sell more today? No, producer will sell at a later date, because they're expecting price rise even more than present. So despite the rising price today, the supply is inelastic. Why is it so? Because they are expecting a much higher rise in future. But if they expect a less higher rise in future, then present elasticity will be affected. If they're expecting a less change in future, so presently they will supply more, or presently they will adjust their supply more, I would say. Is it crystal clear, friends? Yes or no, please? Yes. So I will summarize each point once again. Pay attention, everybody. Okay, I'll summarize each point once again. Pay attention, everybody. Okay. See. Substantial increase in costs. Substantial increase in costs. So see, elasticity of supply will be low. Why? Because costs are rising. Because costs are rising. So my dear friends, if costs are rising, pay attention. If costs are rising, agar cost बढ़ रहा है, if costs are rising, then will the producer want to sell more? No. So elasticity of supply will be low in that case, because they're expecting high price rise, high cost rise, so they will not be very happy with the falling profits. So supply is relatively low or inelastic, not changing much. Time period. So if seller is getting more time period, in more time period they can hire new machines, and so supply can change more, and so supply is elastic. But if time period is very short, can the supplier increase their supply with a large quantity? No. So elasticity is low. Correct. If the number of producers is high, competition is more, so supply will change in response to competition. So high supply change. But if there is no competition, you can take your own decision, and so elasticity of supply is going to be low. Capacity utilization. If the machinery or the factory is fully used, then elasticity is low, as there is no further possibility of increase in production. But suppose if there is some space available, which is called spare capacity, then supply is elastic, because that spare capacity can be utilized. Raw material or other factors of production availability. So simple answer is, if they are available, easily available, then supply is elastic, because then quantity can be increased easily. But if they are not available or very difficult to come through, then supply will be inelastic. Finally, we come to factor mobility. If the resource that you are using, you can change its use from one form to another, that is, it is mobile, then supply is elastic. But if you cannot shift from one use to another, you will have to stay here. झक मार के आपको यही प्रोडक्ट बनाना पड़ेगा. That is inelastic supply. And the final one is expectation. So if you are expecting, you means a supplier. I told you in supply chapter, think from producer's point of view. Problem is when you think from consumer's point of view, don't do that. So what did I say? That if you think from producer's point of view, right? If they expect high price rise in future, then at present elasticity of supply will be low, because they will react less to today's price change. Understood? But if today's price change is more than the expected price change, then supply will be elastic today. So if in future you expect higher price rise or higher price change, then present inelastic supply. But opposite happens if you expect lesser change in future. So you decide to sell it today only or supply more today only. My dear friends, if you understand this one, can I talk to you about equilibrium price? Can I? I have discussed this, but I'll discuss it once again. I discussed it in the first chapter. If you heard the word, remember, price mechanism. While doing capitalist economy, I had explained this point, price mechanism. Hope you all remember. Even if you don't, I'll revise it today. But it was in the first chapter, the one that dealt with introduction. Yes or no, friends? Yes, sir. That's right. Yes. So let's talk about this then. Let's talk about this then. So see, my dear friends, what is happening? So if price was, let's say 10 rupees, quantity demanded was 100. Now if price rises to 15, you all know when price rises, quantity demanded falls. So it has become 80. Again, when price risen to 20, quantity demanded has fallen to 70. Yes, sir. So when price has risen, quantity demanded has fallen. Similarly, if price was 20, quantity supplied was 60. Now when price has risen to 15, profit margins are rising. So supplier is willing to sell more. Quantity supplied is 80. Similarly, when price is rising to 20, quantity supplied has become 90. So when quantity demanded is quantity supplied, when is it happening? When price is 15 rupees. Then quantity demanded is quantity supplied. When price is 15 rupees, then when price is 15 rupees, then quantity demanded equals to quantity supplied. That, my dear friends, is called the equilibrium price or market determined price or market determined price. So the price at which quantity demanded and supplied are equal, that's called the market determined price, price mechanism, or equilibrium price. Whatever language you prefer to write, but that's the truth after all. I hope it's crystal clear, friends. Yes. And this is how the diagram looks like. My dear friends, remember here, you must always remember this. Always remember that here, if you see, this is the price. Okay. Above is consumer surplus, below is producer surplus. Below is producer surplus. Below is producer surplus. Yes, sir, we get it, sir. And how is producer surplus computed? I'll give you a formula. Write it down, everybody. I'll write it down. You all write it down. Producer surplus formula. Okay, sir, tell us. Okay, sir, tell us. See, it is the market price. That is the market price that he or she receives. Okay, sir. Market price slash selling price minus minimum price at which they were ready to sell. Minimum price at which ready to sell. I'll give you a numerical example also. Minimum price at which ready to sell. The difference of these two is called producer surplus. First, write it down, then I will help you out. I will explain using new numbers. Don't worry. Numerical examples, I'll explain. First, write it down, friends. Got it, sir. So see. I'll give you an example. Pay attention, guys. Dekho. Suppose this is Mr. B. Okay. Now Mr. B finds out that the market selling price of a product is rupees 100. Okay. His cost price is rupees 40. And at the end of the day, if nothing worked in his favor, he was at least ready to supply the product at least, let's say, rupees 50. He said that below 50 we will not supply only. So he is selling it at 100. But how much he was ready to sell at? He was ready to sell at 50. How much is he selling at? 100. So this 100 minus 50 gap. Yes or no? This 100 minus 50 gap is how much? Sir, it is 50. 100 minus 50 gap is how much? Sir, that's 50. That, my dear friends, at what price you are selling and what price you were ready to sell, that gap of 50, is called producer surplus. I hope it's crystal clear, friends. Come on, guys. Is that crystal clear? Come on here. Yes, that's right. Absolutely. Correct. That is producer surplus. So what you are selling at minus what is the minimum value that you were ready to sell at. That's producer surplus. Got it, sir? Yes. Consumer surplus you already know. Now we talk about social efficiency. What is social efficiency? Social efficiency is nothing but consumer surplus and producer surplus. That is the net gain to society. Because you see, after all, everybody must be benefited. Okay. So suppose selling price of a product is rupees 100. Okay. Now, consumer, suppose selling price was this. Now, consumer was ready to pay 120. Okay. Okay. Now, producer was ready to sell at rupees 70. Now see what is producer surplus here. 100 minus 70. So 100 minus 70, because he's selling at 100, he was ready to sell at 70. So producer surplus is 30. And what is consumer surplus? Consumer was ready to pay 120, but is having to pay only 100. So consumer surplus is 20. So when you add up producer surplus and consumer surplus, this 50 is called social efficiency. Social efficiency is nothing but net gain to society. Who is a part of society? Either the producer or the consumer. So ultimate gain to producer as well as consumer. A scenario in which producers are also benefiting by producer surplus and consumers are also benefiting because of consumer surplus. When both are benefiting in such a fashion, that, my dear friends, is called social efficiency. That, my dear friends, is called social efficiency. I believe it's crystal clear, friends. Come on. Okay, I'll explain it in Hindi as well. Don't worry. All right. Chaliye, let's go into the Hindi discussion of things. All right. Let's go about it. Just a moment. See, what is social efficiency? Social efficiency is the net gain to society. Okay. What is social efficiency? Social efficiency is the net gain to society. Now pay attention. If you sum it up in two parts, see, let's say the selling price of a product is rupees 100. Okay. Now what was the, I'll explain it in Hindi. Okay. मान लीजिए कि प्रोडक्ट का सेलिंग प्राइस 100 रुपए है. ठीक है. कंज्यूमर रेडी था इस प्रोडक्ट को खरीदने के लिए 120 देने को, और प्रोड्यूसर रेडी था कि अगर कुछ भी नहीं हुआ तो प्रोडक्ट को 70 में तो कम से कम बेच ही देंगे. तो अगर आप देखो तो कंज्यूमर सरप्लस भी है, यहाँ प्रोड्यूसर सरप्लस भी है. कंज्यूमर सरप्लस कितने का और प्रोड्यूसर सरप्लस कितने का? देखिए, कंज्यूमर सरप्लस अपने डिमांड के टाइम पे पड़े थे कि कंज्यूमर कितना रेडी था पे करने को माइनस कंज्यूमर को एक्चुअली कितना पे करना पड़ रहा है 100. तो ये हो गया कंज्यूमर सरप्लस 20 का. ये हो गया कंज्यूमर सरप्लस 20 का. प्रोड्यूसर कितने में सेल कर रहा है? 100 में. बट वो कितने में रेडी था सेल करने को कि सर 70 भी जाता तो चलता, तो 30 का प्रोड्यूसर सरप्लस हो गया. ऐसा सिनेरियो जहां पे प्रोड्यूसर भी खुश है अपने जीवन में, कंज्यूमर भी खुश है, मतलब दोनों एंजॉय कर रहे हैं सरप्लस, तब अपने बोलते हैं सोसाइटी एंजॉय कर रहा है. देयर इज अ नेट गेन टू सोसाइटी. इसके लिए एक फैशनेबल टर्म है सोशल एफिशिएंसी. social efficiency, net gain to society. Is that clear, friends? Yes or no? Yeah. Come on, guys. Come on, friends. Okay. Yes, sir. We get it. We get it. All right. Now let's solve some questions from our dear institute's material so that we are able to understand that whether whatever we have learned till now, first of all, good news, the chapter is over. The unit is over, the chapter is over. Because chapter 2 had 3 units, unit 3 was supply, we have finished it. But now our focus will be whether what we have learned, जो हम लोग सीखे हैं, उसको use करके sum solve हो रहा है क्या? Whether we are able to solve questions or not. So let's try it out. Let's try it out. Okay, let's go here. Let's go here. So here we are. I'll do one diagram based question first, and then we will do all the topics. You know, today I'll solve some questions of, though we have done it before, again of supply as well, and then consumer equilibrium as well. Okay, so let's see what is going on. Okay, diagram based questions, please, everybody. Diagram based questions, everybody. Diagram based questions, everybody. Let's pay attention. Come on. Let's see what is going on. Let's see. See. So what is given us is, it's from demand. First I'll move to supply, then we'll come to demand. Okay. First let's solve some questions of supply, then we'll come to demand. Okay. Which of the following alternatives would be true if the event presented in the following diagram occurs? See what is happening. If this is supply curve and this is supply 1, so there is a leftward shift here. Yes, sir. So there is a leftward shift here. Now, my dear friends, when there is a leftward shift, what are the options that are available? A fall in wage cost of the firm, okay, a shortage of raw materials and consequence increase in raw material price, okay, an increase in subsidy by the government, okay, or decrease in the market price of the commodity. Why do you think this leftward shift has occurred? Arrow has been given to us. I'll show it to you. Our institute has given us the arrow. So what do you think? The left, first of all, let's understand there is a leftward shift, which means all of us can be sure of one thing, that this is a case of shift in supply. All of us can be sure of this thing, that this is a case of shift in supply. As we see, there is a leftward movement here. Yes, sir, we definitely do. Now tell me further. Now tell me further, guys. What is going on? See, whenever there is a fall in wage costs, Arey Baba, if fall in wage cost, then to rather supply will rise. Why will it fall? So it's wrong. A shortage of raw materials and increase in raw material price. Correct. Remember, that's correct. Because increase in raw materials would reduce the supply. And that's right. Because profit margin will fall. That is the correct answer. Why can't C? Because, sir, increase in subsidy will lead to reduction in cost price. So that will rather increase the profit margin. So supply will be more, not less. And decrease in market price. Arey, this is to be question from contraction. This is contraction. Here there is a shift. So this is not possible at all. And hence our answer is B. Is it clear, friends? Come on, yaar. Come on, friends. Is that clear, yaar? Come on. All right, sir. Now let's move on to the next one, please. Let's see this one, whether we are able to answer this one or not. Okay. If a short run supply curve is plotted for the following table, okay, which represents price and quantity of fighter aircrafts, what will be its shape? So let's see what we are discussing. Okay. Price, as I can see, is constantly rising. Oh my God. Quantity of aircraft supply is same. Wow. So what do you think will be the answer? So first of all, trace the case. Sir, here supply is not changing. So it seems it is the case of, yes, you guessed it correct, everybody. It is the case of perfectly inelastic supply. What is it the case of? Yes, it is the case of perfectly inelastic supply. Now, my dear friends, when the supply is perfectly inelastic, see what happens. This is the quantity supplied now. Now, if it is P1, if it is P2, if it is P3, there may be various levels. What is happening? At all of these levels, it is intersecting this way. So it's a straight line parallel to y-axis. So it's a vertical straight line parallel to y-axis. That's my answer. I hope it's crystal clear, friends. Come on, guys. Is that clear? Yes, sir. Got it, sir. First, my focus is on supply-based questions, okay? And therefore, demand ones I am ignoring. Once I have completed with all the supply questions, I'll come back to this one, okay? So see. Let's see. Data on production of vegetables for past 2 years show that despite stable prices, okay, so prices are relatively constant. It seems so from the current information, okay? We don't know what else is in the box. There is a substantial decrease in output of cabbage leading to lower supply. Achha. So there is a decline in the output of cabbage, okay? Which of the following can possibly be the reason? Why is it happening? Come on, very good question. One of the best questions of supply. Question 107. Come on. Come on, guys. Tell me. What do you think can be the possible answer? That's right. So if you all see, if government is giving subsidy, so it is to production should increase. So it shouldn't be the reason. Many farmers producing cabbage and the increasing competition among them. So if more farmers are producing cabbage, then output of cabbage will rise. Why is it falling? Come on. Okay. Then a substantial decrease in capsicum, which is somehow not explaining. So see, increase in price of cauliflower. Now it is the rise in price of related commodities. You see, factors affecting supply. Go to that part where you had written the notes on factors affecting supply. There we had studied in our last class price of related goods. If the price of related goods are rising, producer will find it more profitable or better to shift to that commodity, and hence our answer will be this one. Because price of cauliflower are rising, producers are starting the production of cauliflowers as consumers don't mind cauliflower, and so the cabbage production is on the fall, is falling constantly. I hope it's crystal clear, friends. Many of you have given the correct answer only, so it seems it's all right. Let's see. A good one. Supply is a what concept? A stock, a flow and stock? None. What kind of concept is supply? Okay. So my dear friends, you all are absolutely correct. The answer is supply is a flow concept. The answer is supply is a flow concept. And so we can put it here. Supply is a flow concept. Supply is a flow concept. Supply is a flow concept. Yes, sir, we got it, sir. Next, a very good one again. Supply curve for highly perishable commodities. Supply curve, pay attention everybody. Yes. Supply curve for highly perishable commodities during very short period. Highly perishable are those commodities like fruits and vegetables, you know, which go bad very soon. What do you think during very short period their supply curve would be? What do you think, guys? Will it be elastic, inelastic, perfectly elastic, or perfectly inelastic? Which one do you think is the correct answer? Which one do you think is the correct answer? Come on, friends. Come on, guys. Four options, huh? I'll write the other two also here. Elastic, inelastic, then C is perfectly elastic, D is perfectly inelastic. Now you take a decision, okay? And think and take your decision, huh? Don't be in a panic. Think and answer. Don't be in a hurry to answer. We have all the time in the world. Right. Very short period. Hint. I am giving you a hint. Very short period. We had explained the time concept last day. Sir, if you remember the time concept, let me revise it for you again. There are four types of time periods under the supply world. Very short period, long period, and then very long period, which is also called the market period or the secular period. Okay. Now, very short period. Arey Baba, very short period is a short period where supply cannot be changed at all. Here, supply can be changed to some extent, little. Okay. Large. Then there is long period where supply can be increased by any quantity, and very large period where the entire market dynamics are changing. So the kind of commodities that are being sold in the market is only changing. So in very short period, supply is perfectly inelastic, because in very short period, Arey Baba, you read this question, perishable. So in very short period, let's say in one day, in one day, can you grow new fruits and vegetables and bring them for sale? Obviously not. So it cannot be changed at all in the very short period. And so perfectly inelastic. Perfectly inelastic because supply cannot be changed at all. Supply cannot be increased at all. So it's a perfectly inelastic case, my dear friends. Okay. Yes, sir. Clear. Moving on. If demand is more than supply, the question is, if demand is more than supply, what will the pressure on price be? Will price be upwards, price be downwards, price be constant? None of these. What do you think will be the answer, friends? Okay. Okay. So now pay attention, my dear friends. If you pay attention, see, if demand is more than supply, pay attention. If demand is more than supply, it means there is excess demand. Whenever there is excess demand, what will happen? Producers will have to raise their prices because of excess demand. And so the pressure on price rise will be upwards. But when supply is greater than demand, we call it excess supply. Remember, this is very useful. Whenever there is excess supply, in order to sell their extra product, the producers will reduce the price. So remember, when excess supply, price falls. When excess demand, price rises. Everybody write down in the chat, only then I will proceed. Everybody write down in the chat that in case of excess demand, price rises. In excess supply, price falls. Come on, everybody, write it down. Excess demand leads to rising prices. Excess supply leads to falling prices. Come on, everybody. Only when you answer, write it down, then I will go forward. Then not. Come on. Need everybody to respond, friends. Come on, friends. Correct. So you people are absolutely correct. You people are absolutely correct. So let me, highlight the same for you. Let me highlight the same for you. You have written now. Let's see this one. Which of the following statement is correct? Question number 97, as I see it. Okay. When the price falls, quantity demanded falls. Quantity demanded, they have written, mind you. Okay. Seasonal changes do not affect the supply of the commodity. Okay, they have written seasonal changes do not affect. They're asking which of them is correct. Okay, so one has to be correct. Taxes and subsidies do not influence the supply of the commodity. Okay. With lower cost, it is profitable to supply more. Which one of the four do you think is the correct answer? In 97, A, B, C, and D. Which one of them is correct, you see? Come on. Yes, you guessed it right. See, when price falls, quantity demanded falls. No. When price falls, quantity demanded will rise. So wrong, gone. Seasonal changes do not affect. Come on, vegetable supply is mostly influenced by seasonal changes only. So it is absolutely incorrect. Taxes and subsidies do not influence. They do. If taxes are risen, quantity supplied falls. And if subsidy is risen, quantity supplied rises. So they are related. This one is wrong. But yes, if the product cost becomes lower, it becomes more profitable for the producer to engage in the production of same. And so D is the correct answer. 97D would be the correct option. Okay, sir. Come on, friends. Number 96. Number 96, please. Come on, friends. Number 96, please. Okay. See, supply curve is this one. Okay. Now it's shifting to the right. Now you see it shifting to the right. They're asking why. Is it because of better technology? Is it because of, improved factor of production? Or is it because of increased excise duty? What do you think will cause it to be shifting rightwards? Obviously, a very easy question. No brainer. Sir, if prices are rising, rather the supply will fall. If the price of factor of production are rising, so not possible. If taxes, duty is a tax on manufacture, excise duty is a tax on manufacture. So if that is rising, again, quantity supplied will fall, no use. And so improved technology. Why does it shift right? Because of improved technology. That's right, my dear friends. The answer is improved technology. Yes. Let's see what else do we have. If you look at this question, my dear friends, if quantity supplied is exactly equal to relative change in price, we have done this question today itself. Then the elasticity of supply is what? If quantity supplied is exactly equal to the relative change in price, what do you think the elasticity of supply is going to be? Correct. So my dear friends, we have studied whenever there is a percentage change in quantity supplied equal to percentage change in price. Now, if you compute elasticity, it's percentage change in quantity supplied by percentage change in price. Since both are equal, value is 1, and so here it is. Here it is. Got it, sir? So 1. It's also called unitary elastic supply, by the way. Okay, it's a 45-degree line, much like this. I hope you all remember. We discussed it today itself. Okay, elasticity of supply is greater than 1. When is elasticity of supply greater than 1? Come on, guys. Question 86. Let's hear it. Answer number 86. Then I'll discuss. Take your time, please. Absolutely. See, greater than 1, when does it happen? See, elasticity of supply is percentage change in quantity supplied by percentage change in price. Now, if you apply logic, simply speaking, any fraction will be greater than 1 only when numerator is greater than denominator. Sir, that's right. So if percentage change in quantity supplied is greater than percentage change in price. So here is our answer. Elasticity of supply is greater than 1 when proportionate change in quantity supplied is more than the proportionate change in price. That's correct. 86A is our answer. 86A is our answer. Okay, let's move on to the next one. What do they say next? What do they say next? Elasticity of supply is 0. What does it mean? It means elasticity is perfectly inelastic. It's perfectly elastic. Imperfectly elastic. Oh my God. And none of the above. What do you reckon, my dear friends? What would the answer be? What do you reckon? So, my dear friends, see, elasticity is 0 only when you know the numerator is 0. Because if you see, if this is 0, 0 by anything is 0. And so percentage change in quantity supplied has to be 0. And so that is happening only when the elasticity is perfectly inelastic. Because then only you get the 0 thing. That is, quantity is not changing at all. Perfectly inelastic supply. If I remind you the diagram, it was something like this. No matter the change in price, you know, quantity was constant, right? Like rare artifacts, Mona Lisa painting. I think you all remember that. So that is how the diagram looks like. This is how it looks like. This is also an exception to the law of supply. This is also an exception to the law of supply. Law of supply tells na that price rises, quantity supplied rises. Arey Baba, in case of rare monuments, rare artifacts, okay, rare paintings, works of art, is it possible if their prices rise, more than one of their outputs will generate themselves? Obviously not, because they are rare. Okay, correct, sir. Now, my dear friends, I am telling you one more exception to the law of supply. Are you ready to listen that? First exception I told you, exceptions to law of supply, that is where law of supply is not followed. Number 1 is in case of rare commodities, you know, artifacts, design, painting, etc., etc., etc. Because even if it becomes more expensive, even if the Mona Lisa painting originally becomes more expensive, does it mean there will be more than one Mona Lisa painting? No. Sir, in last class also you told, this class also you told. Obviously no. So therefore this one, rare commodity. Second one, another exception to the law of supply. It's called Labor's backward bending supply curve. It's called Labor's backward bending supply curve. Just for knowledge, I am telling you, Labor's backward bending supply curve. I am explaining you this, but pay attention, everyone. Okay, what is the case of backward bending supply curve? See, pay attention here. Backward bending supply curve is an exception to the law of supply. Okay, see. Okay, here let me say wage rates. Wage rate means price of labor. Okay, and here is the quantity supplied. Now what is happening is, I am telling my worker that, dear worker, if you work for 1 hour, you get 100 rupees an hour. But if you are ready to work for 2 hours, you will get 150 rupees an hour. So labor will be in, you know, search for more money. So they will increase their supply. As and when I keep raising the prices for every hour they work, their supply is increasing. But let's say after we reach 8th hour, after 8th hour labor has become exhausted. Now I say, laborer, if you work for 12 hours, I'll give you 1500 per hour. Now see, at 8 hours, labor is earning money which is good enough for him. He or she feels that. Now if that labor, that is him or her, is feeling that it is good enough for them, then they will not want to supply more. Now they will want rest. So even if you are willing to produce, give them more, there will come a time when, due to rise in wage rates, they will be, at a moment in their life where now they will stop working or they will reduce the number of hours they work. If you see your grandparents and parents, once they became settled in their business, the number of hours gradually they will commit or they've already started committing will be low. Yes, sir. Because now they want rest. Now they want some kind of fun, or I would say some kind of recreation. They want to spend time with family and not work just because money isn't more. And that's how the backward bending supply curve concept came into being. Please remember that it is backward bending and it is an exception to the law of supply. It's an exception to the law of supply. Shall I continue my question, friends? If this much is crystal clear. Yes. Just remember this, huh? You understood this. If you have understood this, you have won the game, huh? Don't need to panic much. Okay. Now see. Let's see what do you answer to this one. Elasticity of supply is measured by dividing the percentage change in quantity supplied of a good. Percentage change in quantity supplied of a good by what? Come on, answer me. Percentage change in quantity supplied by what? Answer me, friends. Come on, friends, answer it. Answer this. So see, elasticity of supply is measured by dividing the percentage change in quantity supplied by. See, we have been discussing percentage change in quantity supplied by percentage change in price. So this is correct, huh? 84 part C. Okay, correct. Next one. Elasticity of supply is defined as responsiveness of quantity supplied to change in price without change, obviously, to change in price. Forget it. Now, next one. Next one. In a very short period, we discussed this question now only. Tell me the answer, friends. In very short period, what happens? Come on, everyone. What happens in very short period? Can supply be changed, not be changed, increase? None of these. Obviously, in very short period, supply cannot be changed at all. In short period, it can change little. In long period, it can change somehow, and very long period, it can change by large amount. So in very short period, supply cannot be changed. It cannot be changed. Supply cannot be changed. In very short period, supply cannot be changed. Acha, sir. When supply curve moves to the left, it means lesser quantity is supplied, larger quantity is supplied, prices have fallen and quantity is supplied at a lower price. None of these. When supply curve is moving to the left, come on, friends. What do you think will be the correct option, correct answer? See, moving of left indicates shifting of supply curve. It can never happen because of own price. Now left means decrease in supply, right means increase in supply. So lesser quantity is supplied at a given price. Remember, whenever there is a shift, Own price remains constant. Own price remains constant. Whenever there is a shift, own price remains constant. Okay. Now moving on. When supply curve moves to right, when supply curve, come on friends, when supply curve moves to right, what does it mean? It means supply increases and more quantity is supplied at a given price. Supply decreases and less quantity is supplied. Supply remains constant, or none of these. What do you think is the answer, friends? Come on. Absolutely. When supply moves to right, supply is increases and more quantity is supplied at a given price. Remember, left and right indicates that price will remain constant. Okay. Yes, sir. Moving on. Next question, please. If price of computer increases by 10% and supply increases by 25%, what will the elasticity of supply be? Obviously, you will tell me, sir, it's percentage change in quantity supplied, which is 25 by percentage change in price, 10. So it seems 2.5. Absolutely. Don't use the negative sign. It is price and supply, not price and demand. All right. Okay. Next one. Supply is the limited resources that are available with the seller. Cost of producing a good, entire relationship between quantity supplied and price, willingness to produce a good if the technology becomes available. Best question. Definition of supply. Best question. Come on. What is supply? Come on, friends. Need your answer. So see, supplied is the, pay attention, pay attention. It is the relationship between quantity supplied and price of the good. So that's correct. 72C. Next question. Quantity supplied of a good is the amount that is actually bought during a given period at a given price. Producer wish they could sell. Producers plan to sell during a given period at a given price. People are willing to buy. Which one do you think is the correct answer? 71 is a great question. Quite concept oriented. Come on. Yes, Vaishnavi, you can do it together. No issues. So see, pay attention, friends. Here in this case, my dear friends, what is happening is, देखिए आप लोग, the quantity supplied of a good or a service is the amount, not that is actually, it is the amount that is actually brought during a given time at a particular price. You remember I gave you an example that what the producer has is called stock. What they're ready to bring to the market for sale at a particular given price is indeed what we call as supply. That's right, friends. That's right. Absolutely right. Okay. Let's see what our next question could be. Okay. A good question. A horizontal supply curve parallel to the quantity axis. So remember, x-axis is the quantity axis. Price axis is y-axis. Okay. A horizontal supply curve parallel to the quantity axis implies that elasticity of supply is what? 0, infinite, equal to 1, greater than 1, but less than 1. Greater than 0, but less than 1. Okay, greater than 0, but less than 1. Come on, friends, tell me the answer. Okay. So a horizontal curve parallel to quantity implies that the elasticity of, see now price is constant, quantity is changing, so it will lead to infinite. It will lead to infinite. Okay. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let's solve one question, doubt question. 65 is a doubt question of one of our friends. An increase in demand for computers. An increase in demand for computers, other things remaining same, will increase the number of computers, decrease the price, but increase the number of computers. What? Increase the price of computers. Okay. And increase the price and number of computers bought. So what do you think will be the correct answer? A good question, yeah. A good question. See, because demand is increasing, number of computers bought will increase. But as you all know, if there is demand greater than supply, excess demand will lead to rise in prices. So yes, product will also become more expensive, and so the price will also increase. Will increase the price and the number of computers. 65. One of our friends had this doubt, so I had explained this. I have explained this. Okay. One more doubt I saw: a decrease in demand for cameras. Other things remaining the same. Similar question. Increase the number of cameras bought, decrease the price but increase the number of cameras bought, decrease the quantity of camera demanded, decrease the price and decrease the number of cameras bought. What do you think will be the answer, friends? So my dear friends, here see, a decrease in the demand for cameras. We don't know about other things, so at least decrease in demand will reduce the number of cameras bought, will reduce the number of cameras bought, so will definitely reduce the number of cameras bought. Okay, that is going to take place. Now if supply is constant, but demand is falling, there will be excess supply, so price will also fall. So price will also fall gradually. So guys, I have explained your doubts. This unit, this chapter is over. See you all in the next class with the next unit in the next chapter. Goodbye everyone. Thank you very much. Bye bye for the day.